Distractions are everywhere in today's world. Whether it's the constant ping of notifications, the endless scroll of social media, or the flood of short bite-sized content, we're constantly being pulled in a million directions. We're busier than ever, yet somehow we're accomplishing much less. Our attention is under siege, and we encounter more distractions today than at any other time in history. Here's a question for you. How long do you think you can work in front of a computer before getting distracted or interrupted? The average answer is just 40 seconds. That's right, 40 seconds is all it takes before something steals your attention. But what if there were a way to break free from this cycle of distraction? Imagine reclaiming your focus, cutting through the relentless noise, and channeling your energy into what truly matters: your dreams, your growth, and your success. Chris Bailey's Hyperfocus could be the answer you're looking for. Hyperfocus isn't just research on productivity, it's a practical guide that shows you how to apply its ideas in your daily life. The results can seem a bit like magic, but magic stops being magic the moment you know how it's done. In this video, we'll dive into the first part of the book, which focuses on the concept of hyperfocus, a skill that goes beyond mere concentration. It's about deeply focusing on one important thing at a time. But that's only half the story. In a following video, we'll cover the second part of the book, which explores the importance of letting your mind wander to relax from hyperfocusing, recharge, and prepare for another cycle of highly productive focus. I don't want you to watch this video passively. I want you to put your focus to the test for the first time. The more attention you give, the more you'll gain from the time you invested. To help you get the most out of this experience, here are some quick tips inspired by this book. Put your phone out of sight. If you're not watching this on your phone, place it somewhere out of reach. Otherwise, just turn off notifications to avoid distractions. Mind your environment. Take a moment to assess your surroundings. Are there distractions that might pull your attention away? If so, make changes to minimize interruptions. Make a distraction list. If a thought or task pops into your mind while watching, jot it down. This way, you won't worry about forgetting it, allowing you to refocus quickly. Evaluate the content. Ask yourself if this video is worth your time and attention. After watching, will you feel it was a valuable use of that time? Grab a pen. Take notes on the key points. It keeps you engaged and provides a handy reference without needing to rewatch the entire video. Pause when your focus wavers. If you catch your mind wandering, it's normal. Just pause the video, take a short break, and then come back refreshed. Now that you're set up to make the most of this, let's dive deep into the fascinating concept of hyperfocus by Chris Bailey. Chapter 1: Switching off autopilot mode. Most of the time, it's helpful that we don't plan out every detail of what we do or every decision we make. This is because autopilot mode helps us keep up with our daily demands. It's a mental state where we operate on routine and habit, often without conscious thought. Imagine if every time you brushed your teeth, you had to meticulously apply just the right amount of toothpaste, brush each tooth individually, analyze your technique in a mirror, time each stroke, and make adjustments based on a detailed dental guidebook, all just to make sure you brushed for those standard 2 minutes. It would be exhausting to do this for every little task. In fact, 40% of what we do is based on habits that don't require much thought. And that's usually a good thing. It allows us to save energy and time for more important tasks. But some decisions are worth making with more thought, like how we manage our attention. Think about your day. How often do you really choose what to focus on? How much of your time is spent doing things deliberately with intention? Most of us live busy lives and only occasionally decide to focus on something intentionally. While autopilot mode helps us keep up the pace, our attention is limited. That's why we need to step up and manage it deliberately. If you're still watching this video, you probably are able to focus better than most people. Watching a long, educative YouTube video takes a lot of attention. And with the available amount of short content, staying focused on a long video is challenging, let alone reading a book. Truth is, we are struggling with focus all day. We suddenly remember embarrassing moments while we try to focus on reading a book or having a meaningful conversation. The problem with all of that is what we focus on now directly shapes who we become in the future. Let's take watching Netflix, for instance. You see so many options. You won't regret watching some. Others will entertain you, and one last category will just waste your time. Choosing what to focus on in life is similar. Right now, you're focused on this video, but if you look up, there are many other things you could pay attention to. Some are more meaningful than others. The most stimulating things around us are usually the least important. This is why it's so important to switch off autopilot mode. Choosing where to direct your attention and then sticking with it is the most important decision you'll make each day. To help you manage your attention better, it's useful to think of tasks in 4 categories. And to do so, we need to consider 2 criteria: whether the task is productive and whether it's attractive or not. By doing so, Chris Bailey divides tasks into 4 main categories. Necessary work. These are tasks that are productive but not enjoyable, like meetings or paying bills. We have to push ourselves to do them. Unnecessary work. These tasks are neither productive nor enjoyable, like organizing your desk. We often do these when we're procrastinating. Distracting work. These are fun but not productive tasks, like scrolling through social media or chatting during work hours. It's okay to do these in small amounts, but too much can waste your time. Purposeful work. This is the productivity sweet spot. We are meant to do these tasks. Only a few tasks fall into this category. Doing meaningful work usually takes more brain power, and we're often better at these tasks than others. For example, an actor's most purposeful work might be rehearsing and performing. For a financial advisor, it could be making investments and staying updated on industry trends. For me, my most important tasks are analyzing books, making summaries, and presenting them in a way that captures the audience's attention. A perfect person would concentrate only on the top 2 quadrants. But if it were that simple, there would be no need for Chris Bailey to make this book. In reality, tasks from all 4 categories compete for our attention. When we're on autopilot, we often end up doing unnecessary or distracting tasks and only focus on necessary or purposeful work when we have a deadline. To make the most of our time, we need to switch off autopilot mode and make conscious choices about where to direct our attention. And to do so, we need to understand how the boundaries of our attention are set. Chapter 2. The limits of your attention. The boundaries of your attention. Our attention is like a spotlight that can only shine on a limited number of things at once. We often overestimate how much we can focus on, thinking we can handle more than we actually can. It's estimated that our brains take in around 11 million bits of information every second through our senses. However, out of these 11 million bits, our minds can consciously process and focus on only about 40 at a time. This limited capacity means we have to be selective about where we direct our attention, as trying to focus on too many things at once can reduce our effectiveness. Meet your attentional space. Attentional space is the mental capacity we have to hold information, tasks, or ideas at any given moment. This space is limited, so we need to manage it carefully. For example, if you try to hold too many tasks in your mind at once, you'll quickly feel overwhelmed, which can lead to stress and decreased productivity. What's filling your attentional space? Our attentional space can be filled with anything from work tasks and personal goals to random thoughts and worries. Everyday distractions like emails, social media notifications, and irrelevant thoughts can clutter our attentional space, making it harder to focus on important tasks. It's crucial to clear out unnecessary thoughts and distractions to maintain a productive mental environment. Tasks that pair well. Some tasks are easier to do together than others. The book suggests that simple, repetitive tasks can be paired with listening to music or podcasts, which can occupy your attentional space without overwhelming it. However, more complex tasks that require deep focus should not be paired with other activities, as they demand most of your attentional space. Multitasking with habits. Bailey explains that we can only successfully multitask when one or more of the tasks are habitual, meaning that they don't require much conscious effort. For example, you can easily drive and listen to an audiobook because driving for many people is a habit that doesn't require active thinking. However, multitasking with tasks that both need your full attention can lead to mistakes and reduced efficiency. Attention overload. When we try to fill our attentional space with too much information or too many tasks, we experience attention overload. This overload makes it difficult to concentrate, leading to burnout and poor decision-making. You should be mindful of how much information you are trying to process at any one time and taking breaks to clear your mental space. Ideally, our attentional space should contain no more than two things at once: what we want to achieve and what we're currently doing. While we can't always maintain this focus, being mindful of our intention ensures that we're focused on what truly matters. Working with intention. The solution to our limited attention capacity is to work with intention. The book couldn't stress the importance of this concept any more than it already does. It means deliberately choosing what to focus on and setting clear goals for our attention. By prioritizing the most important tasks and cutting out distractions, we can ensure that our limited attentional space is dedicated to meaningful and productive work. The costs add up. There are real costs associated with not managing our attention well. Shifting our attention from one task to another is necessary throughout the day, but doing it too often can be harmful. When surrounded by distractions, frequent attention shifts can lead to an overflow, where our brain struggles to handle everything. This not only puts us in autopilot mode, but also affects our memory. For example, if you watch TV with your phone nearby, you remember less of what you've seen. When we multitask, we use a part of the brain involved in habits rather than the hippocampus, which helps us store and recall information. Constantly switching focus reduces our ability to form memories, lowers productivity, and makes it harder to filter out distractions. Additionally, frequent switching leaves behind attention residue, where our mind lingers on the previous task, making it harder to fully engage with the new one. Studies show that multitasking can make tasks take 50% longer than focusing on one task at a time. The quality of your attention. The quality of our work is directly related to the quality of our attention. When we focus deeply and fully on one task, we not only complete it faster, but also to a higher standard. Good attention management is about doing fewer things better, rather than trying to do more things poorly. The book encourages us to practice mindfulness and develop habits that improve the quality of their attention, such as setting intentions, modifying your environment, overcoming the mental resistance you have towards certain tasks, eliminating distractions, and clearing the distractions inside your own head. Chapter 3. The Power of Hyperfocus. Compared to the first two chapters, this third chapter focuses more on practical approaches to follow, rather than theoretical concepts. It's now that you start understanding how the magic is done. Introducing Hyperfocus. I bet each one of you watching this video can recall a day where you had an extremely productive workday. You probably focused on just one task, maybe because of a deadline, which filled your entire attention. You were able to avoid distractions and quickly refocus after interruptions. While intensely focused, you weren't frantically switching tasks. Even when your mind wandered, you quickly brought your focus back. The task was likely at a comfortable difficulty level. Not too hard to be intimidating, but not so easy that it became routine. You may have even entered a flow state where time flew by and you accomplished more in each hour than usual. And despite working hard, you felt less tired than usual, with motivation remaining strong. On this day, you tapped into your brain's most productive mode, hyperfocus. Hyperfocus might seem like a rare luxury in our fast-paced lives, but it actually reduces busyness by limiting what enters your attentional space. By choosing tasks ahead of time, you can focus on what truly matters. With hyperfocus, you can accomplish more in one focused hour than in a whole day filled with distractions. Remember, the more tasks you try to focus on at once, the less productive you become. Hyperfocusing on habits. The most important aspect of hyperfocus is that only one productive or meaningful task consumes your attentional space. While it's possible to hyperfocus on a habit, there are two main reasons why it's better to save this mental mode for complex tasks. First, hyperfocus uses willpower and mental energy, which are limited resources throughout the day. Since habits don't require much attentional space, they don't need this level of focus. Second, focusing too much on habitual tasks can actually worsen performance. For example, if you become overly aware of someone watching you walk, you might start walking awkwardly. Studies with skilled typists show that the more they focus on typing, the slower and less accurate they become. The 4 stages of hyperfocus. Now that we got that on the record, let's address the elephant in the room. How do we enter hyperfocus mode? According to the book, you need to go through each one of the following 4 states. Choosing a productive task. Identify a task that is important and aligns with your goals. This selection process ensures that hyperfocus will be used effectively. Eliminating distractions. Remove potential distractions to create an environment conducive to deep focus. This could mean turning off notifications, closing unnecessary browser tabs, or finding a quiet workspace. Focusing deeply. Dive into the task with full attention, immersing yourself in it. This stage is where the most productive work happens, and it requires blocking out everything else. Sustaining focus. Keep the focus going for a set period, ideally up to 90 minutes, to maintain productivity without burnout. Regular breaks are essential to recharge and keep the mind sharp. How to set stronger intentions. Setting clear intentions is critical for entering hyperfocus. To do so, be specific about what you want to accomplish. For instance, instead of planning to work on a project, set a goal like outline the first 3 sections of the report, or replace go to the gym by schedule and go to the gym on my lunch break. Clear intentions provide direction and help maintain focus on what truly matters. Starting a hyperfocus ritual. The next step is developing a ritual, as it can help transition into hyperfocus more easily. A ritual might include setting a specific time for focused work, creating a consistent workspace, or starting with a particular action like making a cup of tea. Rituals signal to your brain that it's time to focus, making it easier to slip into a state of deep concentration. Building your focus. Building the ability to hyperfocus takes practice. Start by setting short periods of focused work, gradually increasing the time as you become better at maintaining attention. Use tools like timers or apps to help manage your focus sessions, and be patient with yourself as you develop this skill. Over time, these practices will strengthen your ability to hyperfocus, leading to greater productivity and better results in your work and personal life. Chapter 4: Taming Distractions. Getting rid of distractions is so crucial that the author dedicated a whole chapter to discuss it. To do so, Bailey started by bringing the 40 seconds back. 40 seconds. A study found that we can focus on a task for only about 40 seconds before getting distracted, and after just 3 minutes, we tend to switch to something completely different. In fact, we tend to work on an average of 2.26 other tasks every time we get distracted, before getting back to the original task we were trying to hyperfocus on. Why we love distractions. So why do we love distractions? Distractions provide a quick hit of dopamine, making them addictive. We are naturally drawn to novelty, which makes it easy for us to get sidetracked by new notifications, messages, or tasks. Our brains crave this stimulation, even though it makes us less productive. The 4 types of distractions. You can call anything that shift our attention away from our intentions a distraction. And just like tasks, there are 4 types of distractions, and this time, the criteria are whether or not we have control over those distractions and whether they annoy or entertain us. Distractions come from 2 main sources, ourselves and others. While some distractions can be prevented, many can't, such as unexpected phone calls or knocks on the office door. Research shows that we often interrupt ourselves just as much as others do, making it crucial to address both types of distractions. Interruptions from others are less harmful than those we impose on ourselves. On average, it takes about 29 minutes to refocus after we interrupt our own work, but only about 23 minutes after being interrupted by someone else. When we have control on the distractions, we need to deal with them before we start focusing on the important tasks. And while we can't stop all interruptions, we can control how we respond to them. Staying focused on our original task and returning to it as soon as possible is key. And when dealing with enjoyable distractions, like team lunches or calls from loved ones, it's important to embrace and enjoy them while still remembering our primary intentions. Distraction-free mode. There are 2 ways to deal with distractions. The first one is creating a distraction-free environment. The idea is to block interruptions so that we can concentrate on the tasks that matter most. Here are some practical strategies to enter a distraction-free mode. Control digital interruptions, like notifications from emails and instant messaging apps. To combat these, it's essential to turn notifications off. Set physical boundaries. Closing the door to your workspace or finding a quiet spot can significantly reduce distractions. Letting others know when you're in focus mode by using signs or signals can help block interruptions from colleagues or family members. Time blocking and scheduling. Allocating specific blocks of time for focused work can help create a routine that supports distraction-free work. During these periods, prioritize tasks that require deep concentration and save less demanding tasks for other times. This approach helps in mentally preparing for focus and reduces the likelihood of drifting into less productive activities. Mind management techniques. Even in a distraction-free environment, our minds can still wander. Practicing mindfulness or meditation can train the mind to stay present and focused. Working with reduced distractions. But since it's impossible to stay in a distraction-free mode all the time, it's important to minimize distractions during other parts of the day as well. To determine which distractions are worth cutting back on, ask yourself, which interruptions throughout the day aren't worth losing 20 minutes or more of productivity? While you can't eliminate distractions completely and may not even want to, being more mindful about what disrupts your focus is definitely worthwhile. Some practical ways to reduce distractions include setting specific times for checking emails and messages and using noise-canceling headphones. Simplifying your environment. We also need to simplify our physical surroundings as they impact our ability to focus. A cluttered desk can lead to a cluttered mind. By keeping our work environment simple and organized, we can minimize visual distractions. This also makes it easier to enter a state of hyperfocus. Music. Let's talk about music for a moment. Music can be a double-edged sword. While it can drown out background noise, it can also become a distraction itself, especially if it has lyrics. Instrumental music or ambient sounds can help maintain focus by providing a consistent auditory backdrop that masks disruptive noise. Clearing your mind. Another way to fight distraction is clearing the mind of unnecessary thoughts is crucial for staying focused. Techniques like mindfulness meditation, journaling, or taking short breaks to breathe deeply can help clear mental clutter. By calming the mind, we can better focus on the task at hand. Working with purpose. Having a clear purpose behind what we're doing helps us stay on track. Knowing the why behind our tasks gives us the motivation to keep going, even when distractions are tempting. By aligning our tasks with our goals, we can maintain focus and productivity. Chapter 5. Making Hyperfocus a Habit. Now, if you want the book to have an impact on your life, hyperfocusing once in a while isn't the way. What you need to do is to make it a habit. The final chapter answers the obvious question of how. What makes our minds wander? Our minds often wander when we are trying to focus. We naturally seek out more stimulating or enjoyable activities. This tendency to drift can be a response to boredom, fatigue, or simply because the task at hand isn't engaging enough. Understanding why our minds wander is the first step to managing it. The book cites research showing that our minds wander nearly 47% of the time. Knowing this can help us anticipate when we're likely to lose focus, allowing us to take proactive steps to stay on track. The power of making your work harder. One way to reduce mind wandering is to make tasks more challenging. When a task is slightly beyond our current abilities, it becomes more engaging, requiring us to focus more intently. This is known as the Goldilocks rule. Tasks should be not too easy, not too hard, but just right. By increasing the difficulty of our work slightly, we can keep our minds engaged and less likely to drift. For instance, if writing a report, set a tighter deadline or add more complex data analysis to the task. Increasing the size of your attentional space. Our attentional space is limited, but it can be expanded with practice. By gradually training our focus, we can handle more complex tasks without getting overwhelmed. Techniques like regular breaks and gradually increasing task complexity can help increase the capacity of our attentional space. Meditation is another highly effective technique that involves directing your focus at a single element, which is usually your breath. Each time your mind wanders, you bring it back to your breath, noticing its characteristics, such as depth, temperature, and how it flows in and out of your body. By practicing meditation, you enhance various aspects of your attention, including the size of your attentional space. In fact, a study found that meditation can boost working memory capacity by more than 30%. Hyperfocus at home. Hyperfocus isn't just for the workplace. Applying hyperfocus techniques at home can help manage household tasks, hobbies, and personal projects. For example, setting clear intentions before starting a task, like cleaning or cooking, can help keep you on track. Reducing distractions, such as turning off the TV or silencing phone notifications, can also improve focus. Using hyperfocus strategies can make even mundane tasks more manageable and less time-consuming. 4 more ways to battle your resistance to hyperfocus. What you need to keep in mind is that our resistance to complex and productive tasks isn't evenly spread out over our working time. It typically peaks right at the start when we begin these tasks. Taking that first step of starting the task will give you momentum and makes hyperfocusing easier. The author's 4 favorite strategies for battling this initial resistance are the following. Start small. Reduce your intended hyperfocus period until it feels manageable. Shorten the time you plan to dedicate to one task to minimize mental resistance. Even aiming to focus for just 5 minutes can help you get started. Challenge the no time excuse. When you say you don't have time for something, remember that it's more about how you choose to spend your time. Try swapping tasks. For instance, if you feel you don't have time to meet a friend for coffee, ask if you'd have time to watch a football game or scroll through Facebook instead. If you're too busy to start a new project, consider if you'd still be too busy for a meeting with your boss. This comparison often reveals that it's just your resistance talking. Regular hyperfocus practice. Make hyperfocus a daily habit by including at least one hyperfocus session each day. As you get used to working with fewer distractions, you'll face less resistance and enjoy the increased productivity. Take time to recharge. While hyperfocus can be surprisingly energizing by reducing the need to constantly resist distractions, feeling resistance to the ritual may indicate you need a break. Make sure to recharge so you can maintain your focus. The power of hyperfocus. Hyperfocus allows you to achieve more in less time by concentrating all your mental energy on one task. This state of deep concentration leads to higher quality work and greater productivity. Hyperfocus isn't just about doing more. It's about doing better, making the most of the limited time and energy we have. To maximize the benefits of hyperfocus, consider these key strategies. Identify the 4 types of productive and unproductive tasks so you can avoid autopilot mode. Be aware of the limited capacity of your attention and try to avoid multitasking. Use hyperfocus only on complex tasks so you can accomplish more in less time. Establish clear daily goals. Create your distraction-free and reduce distraction zones to maintain focus and clarity. Use lists to manage tasks and worries so you can clear your mind. Manage your attentional space by enhancing your work complexity and expanding your attention limits. The power of mind wandering. While hyperfocus is powerful, mind wandering also has its benefits. It allows for creativity, problem solving, and the incubation of ideas. Chris Bailey refers to this state of mind as scatterfocus. It's so essential and works so well alongside hyperfocus that he dedicates the entire second half of the book to it. In our next video, we'll summarize this second part and give you a closer look to scatterfocus.